Myers-Briggs has identified INTP, or the thinker, as your personality type. You have the natural ability to be able to focus and get into the zone, to be able to move into that area where you're tightly focused on exactly what's going on and be able to stay there and to be able to operate at a high level of effectivity. Often seen as the guru of your profession, somebody who understands more about what's going on than the next person. Your precision in communication leads to accurately convey your ideas. So you have the ability to be able to talk in a way that people really get it. You have a way with words and a way to be able to use words. You're usually quite intelligent and can grasp difficult concepts. So you're the kind of person who got a lot going on upstairs, and you can grasp concepts that kind of fail other people. They really may not get it. You often jovial and good-natured. You're a happy person, a lot of fun to be around when you're that happy. You're not overly demanding, easy and enjoyable to live with. So your mate has got somebody who's a pretty happy person and is easy to work with. And you act very quickly on things, and often even a good athlete. So your ability to be able to act quickly is good for you in a competitive situation when you're being in the athletic ventures. You understand how to support and enhance a relationship. So you see what's going on in a relationship, you measure it, and you make moves to make it better all the time. And then you see the value of principles, that they are not strictly logical. So you can see when things need to be changed because of the principles of being violated. You're an attractive and compelling personality and are well liked among your peers and among people that know you and meet you. So let's talk about your weaknesses. You may get stuck in a rut where things are comfortable for you, where you're able to move around in the area that you like. Don't be afraid to spread your wings, to stretch yourself out, to set goals that are a little beyond what you normally think. Just remember, if your goal is to get to Mars, you better set up some sub goals to the moon. So make sure you set large goals with intermediate goals that you can reach. It'll help you in identifying where you want to go. You reject anything that doesn't support experimental or experiential understanding of the world. So don't get so fixated on what it is you can see. And not only you can't always just see things. That doesn't mean just because you can't see it's not true. There are other ways to arrive at logical conclusions about how things are and the way they are without being able to touch and see them. If something's not logical, you might reject it as unimportant. Just because something isn't logical doesn't mean it's not important. And you think about it. If you reject your mate's feelings, pretty soon they're going to be gone. And trust me, the logic of that situation comes out in pain and dollars. So just because you can't see it and touch it doesn't mean it isn't real, and it isn't something you should be paying very close attention to. You may become a little bit isolated from society. Don't allow that to happen. Don't allow yourself to become a recluse. Force yourself to get out and among people and to go into places where you're not necessarily comfortable. Force yourself to do that. You may be paranoid about social organizations and institutions trying to control you, that you might think that the government's they're coming out to get you, that you might have a tendency to let this paranoia be the very thing that keeps you indoors and keeps you away from people. Just remember that the paranoia that you feel is probably has a little bit of foundation, but remember, there are two giant differences between what reality is and what the worst could be. So make sure that you keep a clear head about things, and talk to other people. Find other people that'll hold you accountable to making sure that you're not letting this paranoia set in. And then you might be unaware of how to express your inner world to others about what you see. Establish close friendships, people that can help you stretch yourself, that can get you out of your own head and out of your comfort zone, and take you out and get you introduced to other things. And then you might be unaware of a communications that's expected in an intimate relationship. I mean, your spouse, the people that you come close to, people that are also your children, your family, they expect a certain amount of communication. They expect to hear what's going on in your life, and they want to understand who you are and where you're at. If you get pushed beyond your comfort level, you may reject a relationship entirely. Be careful about that. When something happens to take you beyond your comfort level, just allow time to pass. Sit back and think thoughts that are based in reality. Don't look to things that you think might be true. Look to what is actually true, and it'll help you maintain relationships that you should be maintaining, and to get out of relationships that are bad relationships. And you may have a tendency also to overreact under stress. So remember, back away from situations, allow them time, and then think through the reality. Think through what's really going on and not just what you think's going on. And get this person that you might have in your life, a mentor or somebody in your life. Make sure that you have somebody that you can bounce ideas off of. And you may not recognize appropriate dress and general behavior. You might be the kind of person who just walks out in whatever they're wearing and doesn't pay attention to it. Make sure that you watch the side of your life and you pay attention to what it is you should be wearing, to what your dress should be, to how your appearance is coming off to others. Okay, here's some action items. Don't falsely express love because you think you should or because you think it would be a good thing to do. Make sure that you're expressing love in an appropriate way and in a way that should come off. And then don't express yourself to be a master of the touchy-feely game. You know, you're not a master of the touchy-feely game, and don't expect yourself to be. Don't assume that the lack of feedback is the same as negative feedback. Just because somebody doesn't say something to you and give you feedback on something doesn't mean that they have a negative impression. Typically, people are not thinking about that kind of thing when they're not saying anything. We're often surprised by what it is people are actually thinking about, and it isn't a good idea to just assume things. Assume that somebody is feeling negatively just because they're not saying things. Realize that satisfying relationships start with the head and move to the heart. So when you see your relationship and it's not going where you want, remember that are you thinking about things? Are you talking about the things that relate to your relationship and relate to the positive things of the relationship? Because relating and talking about the positive things of a relationship are what make them move to the heart and give you and build the emotions that are required to have a solid, tight emotional relationship. And don't compare others to your own appearance. Don't look at the way somebody else looks and think, oh, that's the way I should look, or I don't want to look like that. You know, dress just where you're comfortable and things that suit you, because you'll have a tendency to want to do that. Realize your gift at mastering logical problems and situations. Take a look at that and realize you're very good at that, and you should utilize it to your own good. And then be aware that everyone has something to offer. You have something to offer, but other people around you have something to offer. But if you don't get out and get around people and spend time building relationships, you won't find what other people have to offer. You have the ability to be able to spot it and to be able to utilize it, but you have to get among people to be able to make that happen. And then understand that the way to grow is to get outside of your comfort zone. Move outside your comfort zone means going places that you're not comfortable with. It means reading information that you're not comfortable with. It means studying things. It means having conversations you're not comfortable with. And then remember, no one has control over your life, more control of your life than you. So don't be a victim. Don't look at life and think that people are always out to get you. And then don't distress over these dark, fearful expectations you have. Remember to base them in reality. So this is your personality of INTP.